Welcome to I Heart Geek.
Okay, welcome to part 2 of our 2022/2023 expose.
Yay!
So we went through all the movies last week, and this week we're going to be talking about TV and just the pop culture items. And then the next week we'll come back later for what we want to see for 2023. With me now, I'm Dub. I'm here with Christina. We're here with Skeeter. Yay! Okay, so I think we hit some pretty interesting stuff last week with the movies. Now, I think the TV is going to go a bit faster because this is where I would love it if Kevin was back, because yeah, he loves everything that happened with Marvel in the shows this year. I'm not so much. Let's hope that you guys are a little more positive on some of these things. Okay, first thing we want to talk about is something that a lot of people saw and was weird, was Pam and Tommy. It's fictionalized. I'll just leave it at that. It was weird and gross, but a lot of people really got into it. Did you guys see that one at all?
I watched like an episode and a half, and I was like, I'm struggling.
Yeah,
yeah.
I want them to stop making fictionalized biographies.
Yeah, it just wasn't in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, and this is one I fell off of, and Tyler's a huge fan. He's gonna be mad. He would have been mad if I didn't say it, but the end of a huge era in the geek world, and that's Walking Dead finale. I fell off about 6 years ago, but I think it's worth mentioning that they sought a very loyal base, and they stuck with it. I know what happened at the end, and I don't know if I would have been satisfied after all those years of following.
I feel like you need to watch all of it to appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm like 3 years behind, but now that it's over, I'll probably take the time to go back and do it.
Yeah, I ended with the Glenn episode. I did two episodes after that, and the fake tiger, and I'm like,
yeah.
That's where I fell off. Did you see that, Skeeter? Or you weren't a Walking Dead fan, were you? Nope. Okay, so let's go on to mixed feelings, and that would be Obi-Wan.
Which one?
Obi-Wan
Okay.
on Disney Plus. Now, Obi-Wan, I feel like had potential. I feel like they didn't live up to the potential. There was a lot of overpowering characters and underpowering characters, and
a lot of characters that weren't needed.
A lot. Yeah, I feel like they didn't think it through. It made me not love Obi-Wan anymore.
Yeah, see, I'm not there. I do agree with you on some of it, but I still love Obi-Wan. I actually appreciated what they were trying to do. And in some ways, I think they were successful. And in some ways, I think they fell very short. Yeah. And in some ways, I think they focused on the wrong characters.
Yeah, they should have just spent all the time concentrating on my two favorite bass players, which they killed one of them. Flea was in that one, and Thundercat was in it. Uh-huh. Thundercat's the artist, the tattoo artist, or whatever he is there. Fun, I guess. And then the Flea character is always interesting, but
I think it had some redeeming qualities at the very end.
It wasn't awful.
The battle, with the big fight, and kind of the closure of, the statement of, you didn't kill, Anakin, I did, kind of a thing. That was very poignant and cool. But yeah, like all of the other stuff, I mean, still, once again, we're going back to a Marvel / Disney / Star Wars thing where we're doing a lot of fan service. So
yeah,
we get to that piece, hello there, like, really, like, is that his normal greeting, or is that just we want to make sure that that we see that,
Yep.
and so we see it again in 40 years.
And
I
I
don't know.
definitely do not want. They're talking about a second season. I don't want to see it with this. I don't think there's anything more they can tell in this story.
Yeah.
Well, they could, but they're going to just ruin the character. Now, this next show that I'm going to hit, I'm going to say the same thing that 99% of the people say. I got it through about half an episode, and then I just lost interest and forgot about it. And that was Willow. I haven't really seen any reviews of anybody even really, well, of real people, that anybody really got into it. Did you like?
I haven't gotten into it. You know, I don't know. I like the first one, and I'm one of those purists that's like, that's well enough for me. You know, I don't need the additional stories. You know, I just let it lie. You know, we're not gonna get one of the greatest characters in the original.
Yeah,
You know, that's apparent, but I just feel like, stop. If you're looking for filler, make something new, unless you just don't have the time.
Willow is a B movie. It was a B movie when it came out. People love it, but you don't need to make whole series off of B movies. Christina, did you have anything on that one?
So I actually haven't even started it. I actually do want to watch it, but like I said previously, 2022 was a brutal year. So I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and watch things. I will give it a shot, and at some point I'll come back to the comments here and I'll write what I think.
Fair enough. Okay, let's talk the new Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna
not-
say what all the internet's saying. Why? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I got through the first episode. I got through half of it.
Boring.
Half of it.
Boring.
The only thing that,
Horrible.
yeah,
Why do I care about any of these characters? Tolkien didn't write about them.
yep.
Nope.
Yeah. Sorry, that was upsetting.
I was excited when I heard it was coming out because I thought it was going to be Tolkien characters, but the minute it became obvious that it wasn't.
Well, okay, here, and I'm going to tie this into the next show we're going to talk about, and that's the new Game of Thrones. I want to hit this real quick because Lord of the Rings, I mean, I'm going to say this, we're going to let it sit in the air a little bit. They're both definitely tried to push the same political stance, and I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I'm just going to let that hang in the air there. However, Lord of the Rings, people were upset about because you have crapped on one of the greatest writings in history. Game of Thrones, it was some guy named some guy, another JR. It's a book he can't finish, and we didn't really care, but it was entertaining to watch. And I think and the ratings show that difference.
Well, and
Game
Matt
of Thrones was
Smith
huge.
is brilliant in that part.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll just don't hate me. I have never actually seen an original Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I know.
just don't watch the last two seasons.
I never have, but I watched this as a standalone, and I watched it because I love Matt Smith.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's good, and it actually does make me want to go back and watch Game of Thrones.
But what this tells me is the more that people push a reason why to watch a show instead of the show, I think Game of Thrones, it was a better show, so people watch it. Lord of the Rings, people didn't not watch it because of the political leanings. People didn't watch it because it was bad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're very similar as far as things.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very poorly done.
Bad.
I mean, visually it was beautiful, the part that I saw, but visual beauty only takes you so far.
Yeah. And how much did they spend on that thing? More than any TV show in history? They're screwed. I hope well, Jeff Bezos doesn't own it anymore, but I'm like, whoever owns it now, whoever greenlight lived that decision, they better be so fired. Okay. Now let's talk now. Andor. This is kind of the theme. I made it to episode 2 and was bored. People that made it through love it. I was so bored. I fell asleep, so I stopped watching. But the people that stuck with it love it. Did any guys watch Andor at all? I think Skeeter
I
did.
have a buddy that like I I'm into a couple of shows right now, so I'm not trying to pick up another, but like once I'm done with the shows that I'm currently watching, binging, I'm gonna come back around to it. Because he's very passionate about it, and he's like, man, if you watch it through and you just stick through even all the boring stuff, it really takes a turn and you'll really enjoy it. And I'm like,
Stop making things boring to start.
yeah, I was like, dude, I struggled. I think I fell asleep for like 85% of the 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 actual movie where they took the plans for the
Mhm.
Death Star. That whole, I don't even remember that. There's no way I can watch this because I feel like it's on the same plane. So yeah.
Rogue One.
I thought Rogue One was amazing.
I loved Rogue One.
I mean, there were certain portions of Rogue One. I'll give you that.
I adore the fact that they took a single line and
Yeah.
made it into an entire movie, and I love that. So
never
Andor
thought
is
of it like that.
definitely on my list to watch. But I haven't gotten to it.
It's stop making things. Well, you got to make it through the first 3 episodes. Don't make shows like that then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't do that.
No.
We're there from the start.
You
people.
should be. Well,
Right?
that's what people. We're in a streaming world, and if you don't catch people's attention, it's gone.
Yeah.
So
I have
I
heard a
don't
lot of positive things about it.
yeah, people
so.
that made it through it love it, but
Yeah.
90% of people are just like me. They're like, okay, that's enough. I'm done. Because it's not. They've given us so much stuff on the Disney Channel and some of these other streaming networks that it's like it's not worth the journey anymore. It's like if it's good from the start, it's good. You know.
Yep.
Okay, let's hit and we're gonna put these 2 shows together. Shoresy and Letterkenny. I will always be waving the flag of Letterkenny, and Shoresy is an offshoot of Letterkenny. They're on Hulu, and they are profane and horrible and fast talking and so smart and so good. Now, this was a weak season of Letterkenny, but they have 2 seasons out this year, so you can't get too mad. This last season was weak, but it's kind of a filler for next season. And it's just after I talked to Kevin about, well, they didn't need setup. They didn't set anything up. They just kind of gave us something.
So Letterkenny for us, Griff actually started watching a couple episodes with my brother down in Texas, and he just locked in, fell in love with it. So, but I was talking to one of my buddies who actually turned me on to Letterkenny and was like, dude, you got to watch it. Check it out. Here, watch this scene. And the way he explained the scene to me, if you like this scene, you will love the show. And it's the scene where they're out in the back in the very early seasons playing catch. And Squirrely Dan is talking about an experience that he had with his lady friend and how it just, the conversation goes and the other 2 guys start just playing catch and grounders and catch. And they're trying to like
ignore him.
Yeah. I just feel like that, like, if you laugh, if that gets you, you're going to enjoy the entire show. And I think that they've done a phenomenal job, learning, understanding the culture and how they poke fun every once in a while at everything. It's just good. I love Letterkenny, their 5,000 people and their problems.
Yeah, it's if you haven't seen it, it's a show you should watch. Now, and Shoresy is one of the characters who is the main character, but you never saw his face in Letterkenny. And he goes up farther north to play hockey. And it's that writing is just so good. It's Jared Kiso, and if you're into Canadian television, you know who these guys are. Just really, it's like if me and Skeeter were to go and make a show because of some friends that just have a shorthand. That's what it is. It's some people that have shorthand. You got to pick up on the shorthand, but once you do, you're like, these are my friends, and that's what it feels like.
It's like inappropriate Bob and Doug McKenzie on speed.
Yep.
Yeah, I highly recommend if you do watch it, even if it's not your first time, go back, rewatch it, and turn on subtitles.
Yeah, that helps.
You miss a lot. Okay, let's move on to Rick and Morty, which I think is done now. Justin Roiland is in trouble, and the kind of trouble you don't come back from too easy. I'm not going to get into it, but so I don't know what's going to happen with Rick and Morty. However, Rick and Morty they got rid of the overreaching arcs, and now every episode is just it's self-contained thing. It's like that's all the fun. It's gone. I'm done. I'll watch it, but I'm not excited for it.
Yeah, it's not in my wheelhouse in general. So
okay, next
watched a few episodes with Griff, and I thought it was kind of funny, but yeah, it's one of those things.
It's one of those ones you have to stream.
Yeah,
you have to binge. Okay, let's hit up. And I think the highlight of the year by far is Sandman.
Yes.
Now, Sandman taught me one thing, that as much as I loved this show, this is, I think, one of the best shows on TV. I said some things that I didn't like about it, and I was called horrible things because I pointed out, I don't like this about this artwork that I have been following for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed. And the second I said something negative about it, oh, you hate it, you're blah, blah, blah. I'm like, and that it kind of made me hate society. Honestly, I think it is good to be able to comment negatively on things, even if you love them. And that's a point I've been wanting to make.
Clearly, none of these people have been married for 29 years.
But I mean, I heard it on the internet a lot, and it was upsetting to me. I'm like, I love this work. I can tell you more about Sandman than 95% of the population that are into Sandman know about, because it's my jam. But yeah, there's some things I didn't like.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it, but it's not perfect.
No,
I mean, there's no such thing as perfection.
Yeah.
Like, we just need to accept that. But yeah, no, this was one of the ones that, in spite of my crazy year, I knew that I had to watch this. And I genuinely enjoyed every episode, even the ones that had a little bit of lag or they had a little bit of things that I didn't agree with. But overall, I'm gonna watch it again. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I've watched it 4 times. I love this show. Yeah. The season 2 did get picked up. Thank you, God. We'll be doing a week by week episode because we did that last season. But yes, Sandman, as much as I love this movie, it was disappointing to me with everything that went on with it. I'm like, that sucks. Because, and it's not being critical. It is, even with things you love, you should be able to pick it apart a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, don't meet your heroes type thing. They shouldn't be your heroes. None of them can be perfect. And Sandman's pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and with that love note I just wrote, people tell me I don't understand the material, that I'm biased and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, we're done. Okay, anything else we want to hit on Sandman before we move on? I'm sorry, I just kind of went on a tangent there.
I can't wait for the next and the next and the next. And please give me Midsummer Night.
Oh
yes,
I want that more than I want anything else. Yeah, I'm glad they at least gave us the Muse.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk. I don't know if you guys were into it, and this is a show that we always want to talk about weekly, but it's so profane and dirty we can't, so we have to wait till the end of every season. And that was The Boys. It was season 3. Season 4 is coming out. They always top themselves every year. If you're offended by anything, don't watch
watch The Boys.
It's horrific.
But if you've got a warped sense of humor and you want to see superheroes as we really think they are, watch The Boys.
Yeah,
That's their next commercial right there.
and
Somebody
people would
tag
get it.
them.
Okay, next up, we're going to talk another show that we all fell in love with on the show. I don't know if you guys did, but I know we've talked about this show incessantly for a year, and that is Peacekeeper.
Yeah,
Just John Cena and his friend and the rest of the cast. And I hope everybody knows what I'm talking about on that one.
Yes.
Talk about a show that should have been terrible. Nobody cares about Peacemaker or Peacekeeper. Nobody. In comics, nobody cares. He is a G-list character. No one cares. And this show was so good.
I love him so much now.
Yeah. You put that guy in that character and add that guy to that character, you just, it's a, oh my goodness, dude. Everything about it was awesome. Like, even how far-fetched it is, it was so stinking good. Like, I just loved it. Every episode you were in,
and like what we were talking about last episode with how it's like they don't read the comics. Okay, with this, there's a more similarities than not to the character, but because they use such a far down character that it's nobody's favorite. No one's a historian on Peacekeeper. No,
but because it's so good, you don't care either way.
Well, exactly. But what I want to say is it was okay to do the changes because it's not Superman.
It's not a pivotal character.
It's that's who they need to, if they want to make a character their own, that's how they need to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of draw the line. Call me a hypocrite all you want, but that's kind of where I draw the line on it.
Yeah, it's just delightfully, inappropriately enjoyable every step of the way.
Okay, let's talk. I don't know if you guys saw this documentary, Woodstock 99. There was two different ones. One was on Hulu, one was on Netflix. Yes, the last day was a crap show, blah blah. And I'm not saying they need to gloss over that, but that is the most biased reporting I've ever seen in my life. As soon as I walked in, I knew there was death. I'm like, no. It was just very weirdly skewed storytelling.
I got like 5 minutes in. That's where I stopped.
It was almost like that show Extra made the documentaries.
It was a TMZ.
It was almost TMZ or Extra, because like we were watching the other day, and this is how to make it work. Okay. So I live in the Central Valley of California. They just had a giant mudslide on the side of one of the hills going up towards where we have our skiing and stuff like that by a place called Shaver Lake. Well, the Extra was doing this big thing on the rising water in Montecito, where Ellen and Oprah and Harry and whatever Meghan live. And during all of these shots of the rising water, right in the middle of the rising water was the rock slide from up by our ski area here in the Central Valley, like 4 hours from Montecito. So we were like, oh wow, that's how we do this. Let's mix it all up. And that's exactly what Woodstock 99 was like. Oh, it was death and horror. I was like, come on, dude. It was hilarious. Like
it was kids being stupid.
Yeah.
And yes, it was the death nail on the original Woodstock. Okay.
Yep.
And that's on them. That's their legacy. But it was entertaining for me to watch. I liked watching Bringing Me Back, watching Limp Bizkit and Korn. I'm like, Fred Durst is evil. He could have stopped it. No, he really couldn't have. It's all good.
No.
He sang a song. Anyway, so yeah. Stranger Things this season was the best season yet.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
I was on the edge of my seat every freaking episode.
Yes.
So good. Yeah, I'm kind of moving these long.
I'm still a little bitter that
I watched it
they
because of you guys.
got bypassed for awards because both of those
They
young
always will.
ladies are incredibly
Yeah.
talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this show. It's just so nostalgic and not at the same time. It's not about the kids, you know, and yeah, it's not. Okay, Vikings Valhalla should have never made it. You
Really?
liked it? I love. Let me hit this before we get on. The original Vikings, the episode, the show, except for like 2 seasons, were some of the best TV I've ever seen.
So I've never seen the original.
Okay,
so
yeah,
I haven't. It's on my list, but when Sean was in the hospital, I was watching this on my phone and I got into it because I haven't seen the original. So for me, I thought it was good, and I'm actually excited that the second season just rolled out.
Yeah, if I highly recommend going and watch the original.
Okay, well, I'm going to finish this first.
It's probably to me, it shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath. It's that much of a difference.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, the characters are so good in the last one, you can't fall in love with these characters.
Yeah.
You're the
I
did
read something that said that these characters are definitely watered down.
Yeah. Well, they all are, but compared to the original, it's a lot better. Okay, we're gonna hit one more show. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is, I don't know if it's real or not. Welcome to Wrexham. Ryan Reynolds and Mac from Always Sunny. What is his name? McNamara. Anyway, they bought a soccer team in Wales. It used to be like a great team like 200 years ago, oldest team in professional sports, and they're just trying to get them. They have a really weird situation of trying to get their play in different leagues. Anyway, it's entertaining. It's fantastic. It doesn't feel like it's fake at all, but so good. I think it is. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. I haven't.
Good.
It's on my list. It's definitely on my
Rob
list.
Rob McNamara. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's McElhaney. McElhaney. Yeah.
I'm terrible with that. Fantastic show. I highly recommend watching it. All the episodes are out. And you guys tell me if it's real. They say it's real. I don't know if it is or not. It doesn't even feel like producer changed it like they do with reality shows. But then again, it's so good. I don't know how it's not.
That's funny. You missed a show though.
Which show? Go ahead, Skeeter.
It is. It's an actual documentary. They are the owners of the third oldest professional football club in the world. So
I highly recommend watching it. It's only like 8 episodes or something.
Yeah. Inventing Anna, it took the world by a storm.
Yeah.
It really did. And it was Twitter, Instagram, everything blew up. And this is based on a true story. But what I loved was seeing tiny little Anna Chomsky into this role and do such a brilliant job in it.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed this. And I totally, as maybe because I'm a girl, I totally understood the hype behind it. And it's so intriguing and it makes you want to dig in. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it.
I actually watched that for the first time this week. And I think it is a black mark on society that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a, I mean, take your own opinions from it, but it feels like this is everything that's wrong with social media. Well, not everything, but a lot that's wrong with social media and how twisted it makes human beings.
Yeah, no. And I think that's why
everybody can relate.
Yeah. I think that's why I found it so intriguing is that this stuff really happened.
Yeah. Okay. I know we missed some shows, but we're going to pop on to our biggest pop items of 2022 and we'll get out of here.
Can we just do one more?
What? Go ahead.
Okay, so there was a lot of documentary movie, especially on streaming, but I will say if you didn't see it, you have to watch it. As disgusting as it is and as horrible as a person as this man
Dahmer.
was, Dahmer on Netflix, hands down,
That will give you
horribly
nightmares. It
intriguing.
is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
all of
waiting
those
for
shows.
I'm waiting for an actual well done Night Stalker Richard
Oh,
Ramirez version.
my biggest
Mm.
fear when I was growing up.
But
Mhm.
oh yeah, no, I slept with Megatron just to because I would
For me, it
throw it
was
at him if I
the
had to.
I-5 Bandit.
Yeah. So I mean, just considering those, that was just well done. He just won a Golden Globe for his portrayal of Jeffrey Dahmer, and I think that oh my gosh, that was
Yeah.
insane.
But to me, that was another one of those things that are bad with social media. People wanted to get offended about the movie. They're not saying he was a good guy, but they're not making everybody just perfect. No, he's a bad guy, and the
Yeah.
kids are dressing him as this Halloween because he's scary.
Yeah.
Duh.
Mhm.
You know, I'm
Mhm.
like that's part of that. People want to be offended by everything.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna hit. I might save a couple of these for next episode, but let's talk Kanye, and I think it's time to look at. And we're not going to talk about a lot of the stuff with Kanye but it's time to look at mental health because I mean, no matter how you look at it, there's something wrong with him. And instead of putting him on TV shows and radio shows and podcasts, they need to get him help.
Yeah, the
There
cheese
needs to
is
be a ban
sliding
on it.
off of his cracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with celebrity, like they they are spotlighting his demise, but
And
they're
making it
not,
worse.
I mean, and only 1 in 5 or 6 people are talking about his mental health. You
Mhm.
know, the reality that this dude is declining mentally, something insane, and we're watching it happen, and we're really not, you know,
Yeah.
it's and the way people follow celebrity and the way they watch and they do these things, it's dangerous.
So I'm not by nature a big fan of Kanye in general. But I find it very heartbreaking the joy and malice that people are taking in the
Mm-hmm.
fact that he is struggling with his mental health.
And that makes these people as evil as anything that he said.
Yeah. And that, yeah, exactly. And like Skeeter said, they're spotlighting his demise, but they're not recognizing that there is something going on there that is clearly beyond his control at this point, and nobody wants to get him help.
Yeah. It sucks. Now there is 3 other things that we're gonna save it for next episode, so that we have a little bit more content on the next episode. And just so you guys know, we're gonna be talking about Twitter, we're gonna be talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and we're gonna be talking about wrestling. So, well, that'll wait for next week. So I hope you guys can hold on. But I do want to hit this and spotlight. This isn't everyone, but this is some of the geek importance that went away this year. Queen Elizabeth II died. Opinions, you're not allowed to have them anymore. She's dead. Stop.
She's an icon, whether you loved her or hated her. She's an icon.
Yeah, and we'll leave it at that. Bob Saget hit me in a really hard place. That one sucked a lot. Let's see, Meatloaf. That's another one that just
that crushed, that hit me hard. Bob and Meatloaf, that one, those two.
Yeah. I have three or four that just really hit me hard, but yeah, those two definitely.
Sidney Poitier, who honestly, it's kind of, he died at a very old age, so it's not.
Yeah,
as
he lived a beautiful life, and it's heartbreaking, but he lived a beautiful life.
He was a trailblazer.
Yeah.
They call me.
Guess who's coming to
Mr.
dinner?
Tibbs.
Yeah. Guess who's coming to dinner? And I'll just he blazed trail.
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley, that one hurt a lot, and you know she suffered in silence, and I'm glad that that's not the last thing we have to remember is like, sick and all that. I know it's
Yeah.
horrible, but there's some people that choose to do that, and it saves legacy, I guess. I know that's horrible.
I think that, I mean, Chadwick did it too. I think it speaks a lot to their character.
Mm-hmm.
That this was a very private moment for them, very private thing, and I have a lot of respect for that. And it actually, I mean, I adore Kirstie Alley, and it just made me adore her more.
And this is why the media is evil, because they do will spotlight it, and it's gross, and they don't have consciences. That's not everybody. Leslie Jordan, that one. The best send off I've ever seen for somebody was on They Call Me Kat, which is the last show he was on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was touching. And this was like last week, and I was literally tears rolling down my cheek. But he's just one of those.
He was just such an amazing human being, and he
Mm-hmm.
was funny, and he was kind. And actually, he did Celebrity Payback with the Property Brothers on HGTV, and that was one of his last episodes too. And it's beautiful. His heart is so beautiful. Yeah. And I feel like we have lost a good part of humanity when we lost him.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one that, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Deb.
I said, well, this is where I'm going to the next person unless you're talking about Leslie. You talking about Leslie?
No.
Okay. I want to hit Gallagher. That one, he's one of those guys you forgot about, but he was such an important part to comedy.
I never look at Watermelon the same again.
He deserves a place in the Comedy Hall of Fame. He was a one of a kind.
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
No, he's just one of those guys you expect to be around forever.
Yep.
And then finally Louis Anderson.
Oh, see, that one got me. And I think it's for me, it's that just so much heart again. Like if you look at he went through some crap, don't get me wrong, but he was a genuinely caring person and really funny and just a joy.
Did you have anything else you want to hit on there, Skeeter, real quick before we?
Yeah, I mean Kevin Conroy.
Oh God!
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for forgetting that one. The Batman.
I mean, I don't know how many cons Griff and I went to that he was just, he complimented our costumes. He would stop and take a photo. He was just a genuine dude. Then Coolio.
Oh, yep. I've met him several times.
Just, I mean, you can run down the list. I mean, Robbie Coltrane,
we should have one of us list in the comments, because there's so many.
There's so many that I mean, like I said, it hit hard, all of the ones that we lost. I think one of the ones that really brought a tear to my eye, because it was our era, our generation was Mrs. Potts, Angela Lansbury. That one was like, I was all, no way. Like, how is this happening? Why are, when they're going, we said threes, but it was like in dozens.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think we should probably just throw a thank you kind of in memoriam up on the web or something.
And tell us your memories. Like, how did these people impact you? Like, for me, Angela Lansbury was, even before Murder, She Wrote, I watched all those old movies. For my kids, it was Mrs. Potts. And so, I want to know how these people impacted your life.
Yeah.
Heck, half the cast of Goodfellas.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so, and I know we missed a million people, and we're sorry. But sorry to end on a downer note, but tune in next week and we're gonna talk about what we're looking forward to next year. We'll be real positive on stuff, I'll promise. Check out the website www.iheartgeekshow.com. Just tell me paid extra for it. You go to the Facebooks, the Twitter, all that stuff. Talk to us. We do talk back. And until next time, I'm Dub. I'm here with Christina. We're here with Skeeter. Keep on geeking on, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yay.
You've been listening to the latest episode of the iHeart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.